Hi guys, I got some more power rankings for you guys. This power rankings are for week 2. So yeah. So first off, start with number 32. Got Carolina Panthers. They're on one. Moving down one spot, 31. I didn't think they were gonna be good this year. No, we did. But that bad? I did not think they're gonna be that bad. They got destroyed by the Saints, like 47 some. So yeah, 47-10. Defense looked terrible. Offense looked terrible. Line did not look good. Bryce Young did not look good. And now they're losing one of the best players potentially for the season, Derek Brown. To make it even worse, so this is like, oh, but like, in this, I think the Saints are gonna be a fine team, but I do not think they're so good where you should be getting blown out by them by that bad. So yeah, then number 31, I got the New York Giants. They're also on one. Last week they're 28. Another team that got blown out by the Vikings, a team that always has to score games. Like the Vikings never beat anybody by multiple scores. Trust me, I know. I'm a Vikings fan. Yeah, just like when I saw them score, like sweet, we finally got one more than one score. First time it seems like forever. It was against the Giants, which is insane. It's ending. Yeah, but Dan Jones, he looked terrible. Threw a pick six. Wasn't really his fault a ton, just because it was a designed screenplay, so he was supposed to throw it to that guy. It's not like could have gone somewhere else, but he could have at least thrown it at his knees to avoid the pick. But then he did throw one pick that was his fault. He threw a pick to Harrison Smith. Yeah, Jones was just not good. The only bright spot on offense was Blink Neighbors, and he didn't even do a ton. Dexter Lawrence looked great like usual. He helped force a pick thrown by Darnold by hitting his arm. Thibodeau and Burns did nothing, but also the Vikings had great tackles, and Darius and they also it's like how much just because they great alignment mocking them. Also, you would think Dexter Lawrence would just destroy the Vikings just because the Vikings do not have a good interior offensive line. They do not. Secondary looked alright. They got burned by the Vikings at points, but they didn't give Justin Jefferson over 100 yards, which is tough. So yeah. Number 30, I still got the Denver Broncos. They're on one. They lost to the Seahawks. Like they lost, but like out of these bottom three teams, they're the only team that was kind of a close loss. It's like, hey, they lost, but like at least they didn't get blown out. So yeah, Knicks did not look that good. He did throw two picks, but they also did get Broncos forced two safeties on the Seahawks. It was a close game. Seahawks, I think, will be close to the playoff team. So yeah, but like Knicks did not look good. Our receivers struggled. The Broncos not that talented team, but I didn't think they did bad enough to move them down a spot behind the Giants or the Panthers. So they're still at number 30. Number 29, I got the Las Vegas Raiders. They're on one. Their last week they're number 25. Lost to the Chargers. Like I wasn't really kind of surprised they didn't win, but I'm not super surprised. But like to give up that many rushing yards to J.K. Dobbins, like no offense to Dobbins, but like he's not. He's a good running back. But he's not that good. He's a guy that's always injured. It seems like. And then yeah, but they didn't give up a ton to Herbert. But yeah, like I thought maybe they had, but like when you got added a guy like Kristen Wilkins and you also got Max Crosby, you would hope you would be able to have a good run defense just because you got two good defense players, both regular pass rushers as well. But nope, you gave up a ton. Let me check how much rushing yards did Dobbins have. I just want to check. So yeah, Dobbins had 10 attempts, 135 yards, one touchdown. He also had three catches. So yeah, Dobbins had a pretty good game. It's not like the Chargers that have a fine offensive line, but they're not that good of a line. So yeah. Number 28, I got the Washington Commanders. They lost to the Buccaneers. They were their previous 27 last week. So yeah, like Jane Daniels looked good. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He didn't have any passing, but he didn't do terrible, which is good for rookie Kilbrecht's debut. So yeah, like you can't expect him to do like great just because he's a rookie. But their defense struggled. It got torched by Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield threw 4 touchdowns, over 200 yards. Chris Godwin had a good game. Evans had a right game. So yeah, like the Commanders' defense is not like the greatest either at all. I didn't want to move them too far down just because Jaden Daniels did look good. Then at 27, at the Tennessee Titans, their own one, moved them up from 29. Yes, they did lose, but like their defense did great. Like if it wasn't for their offense throwing a pick six and having a punt blocked return for a touchdown, the Titans would have won. But they obviously that cost them. But I think they look good, so I moved them up. But I want to. If they won, I would have moved up a little more. But since they lost, I'm not going to move them up too far because you still lost, so you can't move teams up too far when they lose. But yeah, like Caleb Williams did nothing against his team, so yeah. But can they stop those costly turnovers? We'll see. Like literally, like even if they have only one of those, even if they only have one of the pick six or the punt block return for touchdown, they would have won. Like only, but when they had 2 of them, they lost because they had 0 offensive touchdowns. So yeah, number 26, I have the New England Patriots. They're 1-0. They upset the Cincinnati Bengals. They were 32 last week. Good job, Patriots. You got to win. You upset the Bengals. Just no offense to the Patriots for beating them, but Bengals always struggle throughout the year. Bengals didn't have T. Higgins. Jamar Chase did play, but you could kind of tell he's limited just because he didn't sign a new contract and he was away from the team for most of the offseason. But he still beat him. Win's a win. That's why I moved them up. And the Patriots look good. Like, yeah. Like they looked like late the Bengals might come back and win it, but the Patriots were able to hold them off. And yeah, like even if and still Patriots Bengals have a good quarterback. They still have Joe Burrow. They still have Jamar. So the right Bengals had the right line. So yeah. Good on Patriots. Got first upset win of the year. That's it for this side. Let's go to 25 through 16. 25 the Arizona Cardinals. They're on 1. I put them up 1 spot from last week. They're 26 last week. Center team, they lost, but they won. They had a lead for most of the game against the Buffalo Bills. Good, really good team. So good on them. So once again, they lost. So you can only move them up so far. But yeah. But yeah, like they had that 96-yard kickoff return touchdown, first kick return touchdown with these new rules by DJ Dallas. But like if they had won that, once again, same Titans. Obviously, if they won that game, they'd be a few spots higher, but they just lost. So yeah. Then in 24, at the Chicago Bears, they're 1-0. Moved them up. They moved them down from 17. Guess they won, but their offense looked terrible. Like Caleb Williams had under 100 yards. He completed under half his passes. He had 0 touchdowns. Thunder Swift did not look good. Kane Allen and DJ Moore did not do much. Neither did Roma Dunze. Now Roma Dunze is week to week with the injury. So there's another big weapon gone. So that's just not that good. The only reason they won, like I said, the Titans won, is because their defense. Their defense looked great. Jalen Johnson had a game-ending pick at the near the end of the game. He had that pick 6 by Tyreek Stevenson. They had that block punt. So yeah, but it's just I expect their offense to look better than that. And I don't think the Titans are fine defense, but I don't think they're that good of a defense. So it's like, yeah. That's why I moved them down. Number 23, I get the LA Chargers. They're 1-0. They're last week, they're the same spot, number 23. So yeah, they beat the Raiders, but I don't think the Raiders are gonna be that good. Hey, the running game is great. Like once again, like Harbaugh came in and you get these guys like gorillas, like strong players. So yeah, they did good. They got to win. I just don't think they beat a good enough good. They beat a good enough team and had a good enough win to move them up. So I didn't. I just didn't. They were still good. So I just yeah. Number 22. I got the Cleveland Browns. They're on one. Last week I had them at 12. They got destroyed by the Cowboys. No easier, nice way to put it. They just did. So yeah, they lost 33-17. But like the Browns had two garbage time touchdowns. Like that Browns had won the third quarter, won the fourth quarter when it was already 30-3. Like so it's like you kind of can't pay attention to that just because it was two late touchdowns. So it was garbage time. So it's like it was 33 at one point, and then the Cowboys got a field goal at the fourth, and like the Browns are only going to get two touchdowns. Yeah. Deshaun Watson looked terrible. He had Watson threw two picks. Dak looked alright. So yeah, it's not like their defense didn't do that good. Just like they just did not do good. Like if they had lost and it was a close game, I would have been fine with it. I wouldn't move this far down, but to get that badly beat and their defense didn't do that good because like I knew Deshaun Watson. I figured Deshaun Watson was going to struggle, but still their defense wasn't even that great. So yeah, they're at here at 22. Then 21, I got Atlanta Falcons. They're on one. I had them 14 last week. They lost to the Steelers, who you see at the bottom of the slide. So yeah, they lost. That's why they're down. Like Kirk did not look good. I hope for his sake that's just because it's his first week with a new team. So it's like I can struggle a little bit when new quarterbacks on a new team. Like it's free agency signing quarterbacks on a new team. That can happen sometimes. Kyle Pitts finally got a touchdown. Bijan looked good. Defense was great. They forced the Steelers only field goals. So yeah, but like yeah, so yeah. The number 20, I get the New York Jets. They're also on one. They're 13. They got another team that got destroyed by the Niners. The Niners didn't even have okay, I wouldn't really say destroyed. It wasn't like super far apart, like but it wasn't that close either. Let's see, so let's just check. So it's 32-19, but the Jets were never really that close after the first quarter. The Jets just kept it close. The Niners didn't even have CMC, but the Jets defense couldn't stop Jordan Mason. No offense to Jordan Mason, but Jordan Mason should not be destroying your defense like that. And yeah, like Rodgers does not look that good. Brees Hall looked fine. So yeah, like maybe next week once Mike Williams is more healthy and he's more into the offense, they could do better because Mike Williams barely played last night. So yeah, by the way, I'm recording this Tuesday. He's gonna be coming out Wednesday, but I'm recording this Tuesday. That's what I said last night there. So yeah, the number 19, I got Jacksonville Jaguars. They're on one. Last week they're 15. They lost to the Dolphins. They almost beat the Dolphins. Like they were up most of the game, but then they lost. So yeah. But hey, allowing a comeback win is still lost. That's why I moved them down. But they looked better than the Jets and Falcons. And the Browns, like these are close games, and the Jaguars had a lead late in the game. Those other three teams cannot say that. So yeah, but the Jags did fine, and the Dolphins are a good team. Number 18, I got the New Orleans Saints. They're 1-0. Moved them up from 24. Like, they destroyed the Panthers. I already mentioned the score earlier. Like, their offense looked good. Their defense looked great. So, yeah. I just don't want to move them too far, like, super far up, even though it was a huge win, like, a really, really huge win, just because the Panthers are bad. So, it's just like, if they win again, like, more games against other good teams, then I'll move them up more. It's just how much of that was just because the Panthers are just that bad. Number 17, I got Indianapolis Colts. They're on one. I moved them up 2 spots from last week. They were 19 last week. Just because they lost But once again, I moved them up because they look good. They barely lost to the Texans. It was close. It was really close. I think they lost by like 3 points. Colts. I'll still double check you. So yeah, they lost by 2 points, 29-27. Richardson had two great deep pass touchdowns. He only completed 9 passes, but he still did good. Namath looked fine. So yeah, they lost, but that was against a really good team in the Texans. So I still moved them up a couple spots. Number 16, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I moved them up from 20. Yeah, they didn't have any offensive touchdowns, but that's also partially because they didn't have they had Justin Fields starting, and they didn't know if he was for sure starting until late in the week. So that can hurt your offense when you have to late change your plan on who's starting. Because for a while until late, it sounded like Russell Wilson was on start. Like they're different quarterbacks. So yeah, but their defense looked great. They TJ Watt in that picture right there. He did great. Like he had good stats, and he had two more good plays that got turned back because of penalties. So yeah, their defense looked great. It's just hopefully next week their offense do a little better, just with a whole week of planning when they know they're starting quarterback. Assume it'll be Russ next week, just because he was pretty close to playing. Another week should be enough for him to get healthy, hopefully for them. So yeah, but even then, I don't think Russ is much better than Fields. I just think it will help them having a whole week of game planning for the right starting quarterback. So I think to change it that late, it can hurt your offense. Their defense looked great. Like they all like we knew this year, like their offense probably would have some struggles, but their defense would help them win games, and that's how it always is for the Steelers these past few years, and that's how it happened this last week. So yeah. That's it for this side. Now let's go 15 through 6. 15, got the Seattle Seahawks. I moved them up to 21. I moved them up ahead of Steelers just because Seahawks, they both won, but the Seahawks actually had a good offense. They had the right defense. So yeah, the Seahawks won. Can they fix up those safeties they gave up? Because they didn't allow just one safety. They allowed two, which are, you rarely see one safety, let alone two. Feels rare to see two safeties in the whole season, let alone one game. The Seahawks still won. They looked good. They beat the Broncos 26-20. So yeah, I moved them up just because their offense actually looked good versus the Steelers offense did not. Like when you score touchdowns versus a team that doesn't, that I think they're gonna look better just because you're not gonna be able to win many games when you only score field goals. Then 14, I got the Minnesota Vikings. They're 1-0. I'm moving up from 22. They destroyed the Giants. It's only the Giants, so you can only expect so much. But still, huge win's a huge win. Sam Darnold looked great. Aaron Jones looked good. Jefferson looked good. We'll see if Jordan Addison's fine, but he's injured. We'll see if he's back for week 2 against the Niners on Sunday. Hopefully, it's just because they do not have great wide receiver depth, especially with TJ Hawkinson out for at least 3 more games. But yeah, then their all line looked good. They held Kayvon Thibodeaux and Brian Burns to pretty much no stats at all. They held Dexter Lawrence to pretty minor stats. Like you can only hold a guy like Dexter Lawrence so much. Like you could expect him at least to get some big plays just because he's that good. But he held him to some. He didn't allow him to do much. And their defense looked great. He had a pick six. He had another pick. They only allowed 2 field goals, and one of those field goals was the Giants were in field goal range because of a fumble CJ Ham lost in their own side of the field. So it's like Giants were in field goal range before they even got the ball. So there's only so much you can do there. So yeah. Then at 13, I got the LA Rams. They're on 1. I moved them up from 16 though, just because they had a really good game with the Lions. They barely lost. They lost in overtime. But their defense just got destroyed by the run in overtime. They literally could not stop David Montgomery in OT. Like he just ran up the gut and he kept on getting everything he wanted until he was in the end zone eventually. They still barely lost to a really good team, the Lions. So I moved them up. Puka Nacua is out for 4 more games now. Oh, he's on IR. But Cooper Kupp looked great. Stafford looked fine. So yeah, I just moved them up a few spots. Number 12 had the Green Bay Packers. They're 0-1. I moved them down from 8. Yes, Jordan Love's probably missing a few weeks, but like this team, I think's fine enough to like be fine with Malik Willis. I don't think they'll struggle. I don't think they're gonna be good without Love. I just don't think they'll be like absolutely terrible, just because they have some good young weapons. They have a good defense. For the first time, it seems like forever. They barely lost to they for a lot of point season. Like the game, they had a good chance of beating the Eagles. They just weren't able to. So yeah, but they'll probably be down somewhere spots next week just because. Who do they? Just because I don't think Nicholas is that good of a quarterback. So yeah, they next week they play Indianapolis Colts. So that'll be a big game, but they'll probably lose that one just because they probably most likely won't have Love. Like if they had Love, they would probably win that game. But without Love, their team's worse. So yeah, number 11, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're 1-0. Move them up from 18. They're great. They destroyed the Commanders. Yeah, like Baker looked great. He had 4 touchdowns. Godwin looked good. Evans looked fine. So yeah, their defense looked good. So yeah, that's why I'm moving up the Bucks. It's like part of the reason was just like how does Baker do without Canales with a new play caller? But yeah, he looked perfectly good. Number 10, I got the Cincinnati Bengals. They're on 1. I went them down from 6. They lost, but like the Bengals, these last few years always struggle early on in the season, so it's no surprise. It's just a surprise like that they're losing games early. It's just kind of a surprise that they lost to the Patriots of all teams. It's like if okay, that's fine if you struggle, if you turn around later on the season, but to lose to a bad team in the Patriots. So yeah, but they didn't have T. Higgins. Jamar Chase, he wasn't with the team for a long time, so it's just like how it was. He could tell he wasn't fully go. So yeah, and then like especially mixing on. They don't really have much depth at weapons now with Higgins being out. Defense looked fine. So yeah. Number 9, I got the Buffalo Bills. They're 1-0. They're 10. They beat the Cardinals. Like they gotta win, and I moved the Bengals and Packers down under them. It's just they lost. They barely beat a not good team of the Cardinals. Like it looks like for most of the game they were right on loose. So yeah, I can't move them up too much. It's just I think the Bengals and the Packers just did bad enough to move under them, so that helped move up the Bills. So yeah, number 8, I get the Miami Dolphins. So they're 1-0, move them up from 11. They beat the Jags. They had a close game. Like Tyreek Hill, he looked great. He even after getting arrested beforehand. So yeah, their offense looked good. Their defense looked all right. So yeah, just they had to come back win. They beat a good team versus the Bills barely beat a not good team. So that's why I had the Dolphins over the Bills. Number 7 had the Baltimore Ravens. They're on 1, moving them down from 4. Yes, they lost, but they lost to the Chiefs. So I still moved them down, but it's not like they lost to a bad team. They lost to a team that you'll see a little bit as number 1 still. Ears were good. Like likely looked great. Outside that, they didn't do a ton. Flowers looked right. Lamar looked fine. But Andrews, like, what's going on with him? So yeah, and then their offense line, they struggled, but they had 3 new starters, so might just take some playing games to gel together. Their defense looked decent. Like they gave up lots of Xavier Worthy. Roquan Smith did not look that good. But Trenton Simpson looked good. So we'll see. Number 6, I get the Philadelphia Eagles. No, move them down from 5 though, just because of teams in front of them. I think did better. Like the Eagles had some big struggles early on in the game. Like you can't expect Saquon to have 3 touchdowns every game and help bail you out against the Packers. So yeah, but the Eagles are still good, so I didn't move them down too far. So when they still won, obviously. That's it for this slide. Let's go to the top 5. At 5, I moved up the Houston Texans. They're 1-0, moved them up from 7. They look good. So just their offense looked great. Like Joe Mixon looked awesome. Like Diggs looked good. Collins looked good. So yeah, it's just that look good. Their defense has some struggles. But like they gave up 2 deep touchdowns. Outside of that, they didn't give up a ton. It's just 2 deep touchdowns hurt them, but they still won. They're still a good team. Number 4, I got the Dallas Cowboys. They're 1-0. They moved up. I'm moving up for 9. They destroyed the Browns. So yeah, like the offense looked good. No real surprise there. But their defense, that was my main question with them. Like, how do they do under Mike Zimmer? Because Mike Zimmer did not have a good defense his last few years as a Vikings head coach. How did that happen? But they still did good. Eric Kendricks had a good game. Trevon Diggs got his first pick in over a year. So yeah. Number 3, I got the Detroit Lions. They're 1-0. I moved them down 1 from 2. Just because the Niners looked really good week 1, and that was out without McCaffrey, so I think they did good enough without one of their best players to move them up 1 with that win. And so yeah, but the Lions, they still look good. They beat the Rams. So yeah, it's just the Niners just looked good enough for me to move them up in front of the Lions. So that's what I did. The number 2, I got the San Francisco 49ers. They're 1-0. Move them up 1 from 3. Like, they look great. Like, Debo had a good game. Ayuk struggled. We'll see how he does. But Jordan Mason did really good as the replacement for Christian McCaffrey. It's like, are we sure that isn't McCaffrey? It's like they did not miss a beat without McCaffrey. And their defense looked great. They just dominated the Jets. So yeah, I think they did good enough to move them up in front of the Lions. Number 1, I still got the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, like they did good. They beat another really good team in the Ravens. Evans looked good. They really looked good. Like Kelsey struggled, but so it's like a lot of the top tight ends this week struggled. So we'll see how they do in week 2. A lot of these top tight ends now look do very good week 1. So we'll see there. Chiefs look still look good. Their defense did fine. It's like there's only so much you can do, but also that game was really close still. But it's just like until the Chiefs lose or they win, but they still did terrible. I'm gonna keep them at 1 just because they're still 2-time reigning Super Bowl champs. So that gives them some leadway. So then that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one.